So goals is really where you start putting everything that you've entered into work. Um, so you go into goals, you create a new goal, and these are the goals that are currently available. If your goal was to optimize your credit score, if you want to pay off debt, if you want to save for a big purchase, if you want to do some consolidation, and if you just want to optimize your points that you get on your credit card, you can pick one of these goals. So let's say I wanted to pay off my debt. So I'd have to name the goal, debt payment, hit continue, and then it would automatically add my information here. If my other goal was I really want to, my credit score is not too bad, but let's see if I could, make it better. Credit score. Again, owner, you can pick the owner if it's just targeted to a certain person in your household, but generally you just leave this as is. I want this credit score optimizer, and I hit continue. So I got these two goals. Let's just add a third goal. Let's say I want to optimize my credit card because I don't think I'm spending it right. Credit card goal, and do my credit card optimizer. Okay, so I've got these. So these are my financial goals. So let's look at the debt payment one first. You click it. So the way that these goals work, you can delete the goal or you just rename the goal. And to go into it, you just click it. And so for the credit card, so for the debt repayment goal, it'll list all the debts you have, right? I have my MasterCard, I have my personal loan, and I have my mortgage. And I can choose which debt I wanted for it to add to this goal. So I'm not worried about paying off the mortgage yet, but let's see what it says about paying off my credit card and my personal loan. And then also I can choose, if I had multiple sources of income, I can choose which income I wanted to use towards towards these debts. Since I only have one source of income, I check that to yes. I go next, and then it presents me a nice little chart of how long it's going to take me to pay off my debt. So I have a total of $5,500 in debt. So based on the target rate, so the target rate, so we're going to go through each of these, but so I get a nice little snapshot. So I can see that if I wanted to use 80% of my monthly cash flow towards my debt, then this is the result I would get. But let's say I just want to use 50% of my cash flow. I didn't want to use it all, 50% of my cash flow. I would do okay. So we'd see that the time is probably the same, but the interest is more because it's obviously I'm using more time because I'm using less of my income towards the debts. And here it is going to break down a chart. Since this only takes me about 3 months to pay off my debt, it's going to tell me what I should pay off first. So I should pay off my MasterCard. So this is the regular payment that I entered in when I entered the MasterCard. So it breaks it down. So I'm paying $141 towards principal and $8 towards interest. Personal loan, I'm paying $322 towards the principal, and I'm paying $27 towards the interest. And this is the monthly payment. So that this is how it breaks down between principal and interest. So here it's going to tell me what I should actually do. So in October, I would make my regular payment, and then make an extra payment from my cash flow of $3,000. So that's going to knock down this MasterCard because I only owe 500. So if I pay 3,000 and change towards this 500, I'm going to have about 2,500 left. So I take that remainder and I pay it towards my personal loan. So that knocks down my personal loan now down to 2,000. So that's October. So that's it for October. So next month rolls around and the only thing left is my personal loan. So I pay my regular $350 payment and I pay an extra payment of 3,000, which is my regular extra payments for each month based on how much of my cash flow I want to use. And I could knock off this personal loan and I'd have about $900 left. So I wouldn't use all this 3,000. I'd use whatever I needed to pay off this personal loan. And that's pretty much it. So it shows me how to get out of debt really quickly. Now I can choose different strategies. The target rate is like Henri's best recommended way of paying your debts. But if you want to do the regular debt snowball or the debt avalanche or velocity banking, use velocity banking to pay off your debts, then you can choose it. So let's just say we want to use debt avalanche instead. And we would just do okay and we see what that does. So really it's not going to do a lot of changes. It's not going to change by a lot because I don't have a lot of debt. It might drag it out a little bit, just a little bit further, right? But it's pretty much the exact same. The debt snowball is pretty much the exact same as well. To target rate, which is what it recommends, is pretty much the exact same. Velocity banking is pretty much the exact same as well. So there's really no change. So if you have a small amount of debt, it really doesn't matter which approach you basically use, as long as you actually follow follow the plan. And here's Henrietta, or like Henri for short, who can explain what the different strategies are, so you kind of get an idea of what works best for you. Now, what happens? Let's see what happens if we add another debt. So now we're going to add our mortgage. See that the calculation obviously changes. Our total debt increases, debt payoff time, and our interest increases as well. Now let's change it to the target rate. And we'll see there's not a lot of big changes. So just like before, it's now added our mortgage as the extra debt. So we make our regular monthly payments and we pay the extra payments from our cash flow towards the MasterCard first. So this gets paid off, and then the remainder we put towards the personal loan. And so that's it. That's it for this month. Then November rolls around, we do the exact same thing. Now that the MasterCard is paid off, we start with the personal loan. We make our regular payment. We put an extra on the extra payments. And we pay off our personal loan, and there's a remainder of $60. That's why this is a negative right here. And then you put that $60 towards your mortgage, which is why the mortgage has gone up, because as you pay off these debts, you roll those payments into your next debt. So for example, when I paid off my MasterCard, then the next month I could roll that into my personal loan. When I pay off my MasterCard and my personal loan, I roll those two payments into my mortgage, and so now I'm paying a little bit more. And so we just do the extra payments. Now that all those debts are paid off, what's left is just really my mortgage. And we can see that in about 2, maybe 3, about 3.5 years or so, almost 4 years, I'm going to have my payment I'm going to have my mortgage paid off. And so this little bar just kind of shows you an indicator of how far along you are. Your goal is to get all the green. And so that is how you get a plan for paying off your